I know y'all been seeing the social media trend of popping the balloon. So we're going to pop the balloon on not only certain partnerships that you should avoid, but really we want to pop the balloon on some of the traits that are causing partnerships not to be successful. Okay? Certain traits that are not causing partnerships to be successful. So again, if you and your spouse are in business together, I want you to grab your spouse, sit on the couch, let's talk, let's go through this. If you have the idea of merging your product or your business, your brand with another brand, you might want to pay attention before you do that. If you're going into some type of co-partnership collaboration agreement with another company, this is the broadcast for you, because partnerships will make or break you. All right, so that was a test. All right, just had to make sure my toothpick worked. All right, cool. So we're going to start off real quickly. I'm trying to get comfortable here, but we're going to start off real quickly with some really good partnerships that I've got some good examples of. Like, why is partnership important? Like, why even watch this broadcast? There's an African proverb that says that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So there is no doubt that strong partnerships in business specifically really help to move things along and expedite the situation. A lot of people are looking for ways that I can accelerate my success. Find a good partner. That's a good way of doing it. That's a really good way of doing it. Finding a great business partner. And whether it's in your business or someone else who has another business that is similar. So I want to go through a couple of the partnerships that came across my my research here. There's one that I'm like, yo, I didn't even know this. But I got a moment here of just, to be quite honest with you, I'm a little embarrassed. I was today years old. Y'all heard that before? When I found out that Procter and Gamble is not an attorney's office. I'm sorry if I'm the only one. Y'all forgive me. I am being very transparent right now. I was doing my research on strong partnerships. And Procter and Gamble, for example, this is a partnership of brothers-in-law. They're brother-in-law. So all you people who beef with your brother, your family-in-laws, and you got issues with people, you can't get along with your in-laws. Hello, you got to fix that, because some of your in-laws, maybe someone on the other side of that marriage, is a great business partner for you. So Procter and Gamble are brother-in-laws, okay? William Procter and James Gamble. They made Procter and Gamble in 1837. All right, so William Procter is a candle maker, and James Gamble was a soap maker. That's what it hit me. I was like, what does that have to do with attorneys? And then that's when I realized, oh, this ain't got nothing to do with it. But you can't lie to me. You can't say that Procter and Gamble wouldn't have been a crazy name, really good, for an attorney's office. I just thought that's what it was. So anyways, that's a really, really good partnership example right there. Since 1837. Okay, brothers-in-law. Some of y'all can't even sit with your in-laws for 10 minutes, all right? So sit down, take this information, because there might be some things that we're doing that's causing us not to be able to have good partnerships. All right, another one, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. All right, so those two, they created Apple together. 1976, Steve Jobs. You're familiar with Steve Jobs. Maybe less of you, or not as many of you are familiar with Steve Wozniak. He's also the co-founder of Apple, and he was the tech guy. All right, he complemented Steve Jobs' marketing attitude and skill set with his ability to understand tech, and then they created Apple I and Apple II, and the rest is history, y'all. So you may know Steve Jobs, but you got to know that there was a Steve Wozniak to go ahead and complement that. And that's, I mean, what can we kind of derive from that? Is I love that component. Like for the first one, Procter & Gamble, you got two separate products that they saw went well together. two separate products that they saw went well together. So if you're looking for a business partner or thinking about what ways can I collab with people, of course you got to think about your product and maybe identify first what you could see your product evolving with, or what goes well with your product. What goes well with your product. Okay. And then being able to then go and look in your circle of influence to say, hey, do I have somebody that does this? Like if I make jewelry, I got a good friend of mine, actually, best friend from back in the day, long time ago. But he's into jewelry, right? So he makes custom jewelry, and hey, maybe if I make custom jewelry, it would be great for me to partner with someone who's doing music, or another brand that is doing some type of art. You get my point. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, this was them being able to identify that they had different skill sets that complemented each other. So it might not be a different product, it might just be a different skill set. All right. I don't know if I put lotion on. I didn't even put my leg down. We're live, baby. That's right. So if I didn't put no lotion on, I don't want my ashiness of my legs to distract you. Okay. All right. So let me keep on moving, y'all. Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Y'all know who that is? Bill Gates and Paul Allen, they created Macintosh together. Okay. So Bill Gates and Paul Allen created Macintosh. They were childhood friends. So speaking of childhood friends, I was just talking about a good childhood friend of mine. You may have some childhood friends that are doing some things in either your industry, or they are somewhat in a similar industry, right? We have a lot of partnerships that you can do, especially in, service industry, real estate, lenders. We got also, those that do graphic arts and do events like that. Those that do events, when they team up and partner with those that are in businesses, and things of that nature. So, Microsoft, childhood friends, Bill Gates and Paul Allen share the passion for computers. And that's why I called it Love Connection, because another reason why this topic is so important is that we've been talking about branding the past couple of weeks. Okay. So I've been talking about building your brand. And could you imagine your brand is something that you love? This is something that you have poured into. Right? So if you have poured into your brand, if you love your brand, you poured into your brand, the worst thing that you could do is then combine your brand with another brand that doesn't align with you. Right? And then so the reputation of what you love, before you connect it with something else, you really want to have some careful consideration for some things. So they had a shared passion, shared love for computers, and that's why they got together and they made Macintosh. All right. We got Sarah Blakely and Lori Ann Goldman. So I wanted to pull out some women. So I found some great women partnerships. This is cool because they got together and they made the company known as Spanx. All right. So they're the ones that created Spanx. And that's key. So Spanx, actually, I did an event for Spanx here in Atlanta during the holidays. And so I did their corporate event. So it was really cool just to see the company culture, to see what they have built. And that was a really good experience. So they founded Spanx in 2000, and then Ann Goldman came along and joined as the CEO in 2002. Another way of partnership. So Sarah created the company, founded the company, and then she found the right person to lead it. Right? She partnered with someone that could lead it. So already we've seen 3 types of partnerships: similar products, similar passions, those that complement each other based off their skill sets. And now you have someone who has a vision and someone who has the opportunity and the skill set to run the vision. Okay. 3 types of partnerships already. Let's go with, I wanted to find partnerships in Black America. All right. So, of course, this month being African American History Month, I found one. the oldest black-owned architecture and construction firm. Okay, still currently operating. Were two brothers, Moses and Calvin McKizzack. So it's called McKizzack and McKizzack. They were founded in 1905. So two brothers. So now we're not talking about in-laws. We're talking about siblings. All right. Start fighting with your siblings. Some of them are talented. Okay. So a family business that actually works. And this is another thing. You know, people have said things like, oh, don't go into business with your family. People will tell you some stuff that you got to be careful before you subscribe to some advice that you get. Okay? McKizzack and McKizzack. Now, don't go into business with just any family member or because they're family. I agree with that. Okay? But going into business with family is not a for sure dead end. That's not something you want to pop the balloon on. All right? So they, again, so they're still operating, architecture and construction firm in the United States, over 120-year history. Crazy. 6,000 projects, lasting legacy, two brothers. So absolutely think about the family members that you have right there in your space that could be a really good partner for you, or you know this person and he's like, you know what, if me and you got together and put our minds together and we're on the same page, we're aligned, we're going to talk about some tips. So y'all hang around. I'm going to talk about some tips, some key things that's going to help build a strong partnership. Right now, we're just warming up, so I'm giving you some examples of really strong partnerships. And remember the quote that we started with. If you want to go fast, go alone. No one's stopping you to be in a one-man, one-woman show. But if you want to go far, 1905, right? 1975, 1976, 1837, these partnerships. If you want to go far, go together. All right. Here a few more partnerships, and then we're gonna do a quick little session of Pop the Balloon. I'm gonna give you some things to look out for when you are building a partnership, things to change, as well as things to completely avoid if you can, so that you don't find yourself in a very messy situation as you go through the business journey. All right. Again, my name is Coach J.D. Auguste. If you're not familiar with me, I am a sales and leadership business coach. I help businesses develop. I've also incorporated Revenir business technology. You can find me at www.revenir, revenir.biz. If you, by chance, have a business and you'd like to collab or need some partners to help you upskill your people, train them, and get them up to speed, so that way your most valuable asset, your people, are skilled and ready to be able to handle your other valuable asset, your customers. That's what I do. All right. So you contact me if you need me. My number is 470-453-2780. All right. So let's go with last three companies. Now, these are three brands that mix together. These might be a little bit more familiar for everyone. GoPro and Red Bull. Y'all seen that? GoPro and Red Bull. So they had two products that complement each other. They got the Red Bull, and then of course you got the GoPro camera that creates all of this. You know, it's meant for all this activity and action. So they got together and created their brand together. Starbucks and Target. Yeah, that's a collaboration, right? So you used to only have to go to Starbucks as a standalone store, but you can go into any Target and you will see that there is Starbucks in there. So great partnership right there. You got to think about that. You're not, these big brands, we think that they're always competing against each other. They're not. They're not always competing against each other. Okay? Sometimes they are complementing each other. So Starbucks and Target. And then the last one, Uber and Spotify. That's funny because maybe Spotify picked up on the fact that there was a lot of memes out there of Uber drivers sharing their music with riders and what that experience was like. And Spotify saw that and said, maybe we can partner with them. So the whole Uber and Spotify partnership was to allow the rider to be able to decide what music is played. Okay, so I've been in an Uber. I didn't know that that's even a partnership, to be honest. So maybe they got to do a little bit better with the branding of it. But that is a partnership that is actively going on. All right. So that's just our first little session, y'all, on partnerships. If you are on the call, if you are on this live and you're thinking about partnering with someone, why don't you just drop what business you're in, what area you're in. One of the tips that I'm going to give you a little bit later, I'm going to talk about, but I'll give you a little sneak peek on it, is to know what you're looking for. So, maybe someone will watch this back. Okay, we got a few people on now, and then quite a few people that check out the playback. But what are you looking for? What kind of partnership would be good for you and your business? And so again, I know I've got realtors on. I have those that manage auto repair stores out west. Stephanie's on. How you doing? All right. I'm not sure what other businesses are represented. But for those that are jumping on, let us know what business you're in and maybe what type of partnership you're looking for. All right. All right. So this can be a little bit of an interactive part of the live. This part is called Pop the Balloon. All right. So I'm going to grab one of these red balloons. All right. I got them ready to go. All right, and we're gonna talk through some of these things. So these are signs that they are not the one, or if you're already in a partnership that's really deep into it, maybe you have some type of agreement. Maybe the partner is your spouse. I'm not trying to break up no one's home. Every partnership can have challenges. So what I really want to do is, again, whether it's you avoiding getting into this partnership or you identifying for yourselves, hey, we got some of this stuff and we got to deal with it, right? So that way we can eliminate this from our partnership. All right. So the first thing that you want to absolutely avoid is when people or you do not take accountability. Pop the balloon. If you don't take accountability, people don't take accountability, that is not the one. That is not the partnership for you. We know that accountability is a huge piece because there's so much challenges in business. And if you don't have a partner that's willing to say, hey, this is what I could do better, it's going to be a long road. Okay. So be cautious with people who prefer to change topics rather than change behavior. I'm going to say that again. Be cautious with people who rather change topics rather than change behavior. See, taking accountability, when you bring accountability or a situation to someone, and I'm not saying criticize them, but you have to have conversations in business. And when you bring up these conversations, if what the person does is want to just change topics and they never change behavior, you don't want to go 2-3 years in a partnership like that because it doesn't end great. Okay. You have to know that you and your partner can take accountability. All right. If it's yourself, what do you do when you're maybe faced with something that you need to change, or you are getting critiqued in some kind of way? How do you respond to it? Are you a good partner? All right. Can you be tough skin, if you will? Can you be flexible to receive feedback from other people, or are you going to just change the topic? So be cautious of people who change the topic rather than change behavior. And if that's you, you want to change that behavior if you want to go far with your partnership and get to what you planned on doing, right? All right, so that's the first one. All right, let's go. I got another balloon here. Come over here. I got a couple of them, y'all. All right. All right, so here's the next one. The next one is they take all the credit. Ooh. Yeah, you want to be mindful of partnerships that take all the credit for everything. All right? And if you do that, you take all the credit, you did all the work. It's all about me, forget about you. Yeah, that's not gonna do it, all right? Their favorite words are, I know and I did. Gotta pop the balloon on that behavior right there, on that mindset. Favorite words. I know. I know. I know. I know. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I did it. I did that. I did this. Okay. How can you be a partnership if it's all about me? What's that old school saying? There's no I in team. So these are red flags. There's the whole red balloon thing is when we're eliminating. These are red flags that you have to be very cognizant of. You know, you want to know that your partner is going to give you credit. We've seen this in sports when they partner two type of superstar athletes together. You might have one that's getting all the credit, taking all the credit, and then they're putting all the blame on someone else. All right, that one's actually coming up in just a little bit, but they take all the credit. That is a pop the balloon situation. All right, here's another one. Number 3. Yeah, this one's big. Communication is a one-way street. Communication is a one-way street. That's right, Josh. Josh, the realtor out in Escondido, California, said teamwork makes the dream work. Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you don't have teamwork and it's just one person taking all the credit, that's not a partnership that's going to do too well. All right. Number 3 is communication is a one-way street. That is a clear red flag. Communication is a one-way street, meaning that let me just say it this way. They talk. They don't listen. They teach, but they don't learn. They talk. They don't listen. They teach, but they don't learn. It's a one-way street. Now, here's the thing. There is a difference between a mentor and a partner. Now, you can learn from one another, but when it becomes a one-way street, your partner's trying to be your mentor. And unless that's what you signed up for, then that's a pop the balloon situation. You got to pop that balloon. And you have to eliminate that mindset, and you have to eliminate that problem. That's an issue. All right? So communication cannot be a one-way street. When you are in a partnership, you want to be able to help each other. You want to be able to speak with one another. You have to be able to connect and rub shoulders. There's a saying that iron sharpens iron. Okay, so if your partner sees you as wood and they're the iron, that might be an issue for a partnership. Now, this doesn't mean that one of you are not more developed in a specific area. Kind of going back to the Apple, right? Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Steve Jobs was the marketing guy. So from that perspective, that was his responsibility. It was also what he brought to the table. Steve Wozniak brought the tech side to it. So there's this equal mutual, involvement. It's going to be one of the keys that I talk about in just a little bit here. But it's equal. But it's not like someone who is just one way. Hey, I know it all. I'm the one. So this person's not looking for a partner. They're looking for an employee. Ooh. They're not looking for a partner. They're looking for an employee. They see you as an employee, as a subordinate. Okay? And they want someone to follow them. And that's just not the way of getting that, okay? The way of getting that is not by telling people that you're getting into a partnership, but really you're looking for some type of an employee, all right? So that is a pop the balloon type of situation. All right, I got some more balloons. I got 2 more. And feel free to share if you have one that you'd like to share. I got 1 extra balloon. So if you want to throw it in the comments, what would be a pop the balloon situation for you from a partnership? If I didn't mention it, I'll go ahead and read it and we'll pop the balloon on that one there. But the next one is this one's real tricky. This one I see a lot of people, like for example, I was coaching these 2 guys. And I was just thinking to myself as I was coaching them, I'm like, how the heck did they get this far? Like how were they in business for this long without killing each other? because there were certain things that were glaring, and I could just tell that this wasn't new. So I'm hopefully I'm helping you to see things that you might be overlooking, because why would you overlook some of these factors? Somebody wants to say, man, I wouldn't get into business with nobody with these factors. Yeah, except for instead of seeing red, you're seeing green. We will overlook things because of what we want. So if you're seeing money, if there's an opportunity to make money, there's a lot of things that we will overlook. Tell the truth, shame the devil. So, but the end of the road of that partnership could actually cost you more money, cost you more time, and even worse, it could cost you your reputation. So this is how these type of things are able to kind of fly by. All right. So here's the fourth one. They are super critical of you, but they're super passive when it comes to them. They are super critical of you, but they're super passive when it comes to them. All right? That's not accountability. There's a difference between what I just talked about with having accountability and this right here. You can kind of remember by saying it this way. You'll always be the criminal, and they'll always be the victim. Oh, yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here with that one. You'll always be the criminal with that type of partnership. That's a wrong type of partnership. And mark the words that I'm using. I'm using them specifically. Criminal, meaning that we're not talking about someone who's trying to hold you accountable. My best friend, man, he holds me accountable to the highest level, you know. He holds me accountable to the highest level. He's not scared to, tell me about something that I need to complete, something I need to work on, encourage me, but at the same time, give me the truth. And you need people like that in your life. But he never criminalizes me. You know what I mean? And other good partnerships that I've had, other good friends throughout corporate America or even in my career, you can't be the criminal, right? So if you're always the criminal, it's like they are convicting you of doing certain things. It's not even encouragement. It's actually bringing you down. So watch how someone holds you accountable, because if it's critical to the point of actually bringing you down, okay, belittling you, maybe even labeling your intention as something negative. You get what I'm saying? Like it's very subtle sometimes. So labeling your intention as something negative. So for example, my best friend would hold me accountable, but he never says, man, I could tell that that's what you were trying to do. And this is whatever the case may be. Right? So someone that will hold you accountable is important, but someone that will criminalize you, that's a pop the red balloon. You'll always be the criminal, and they'll always be the victim. And that's the other side of it. That's the crazy part about it, is they will be very critical with you. But if there's anything to hold them accountable to it, oh, man, there's a reason why I did it like that. They won't not only do they not take accountability for it, but they will literally be a victim with it. Oh, man, there's a justification for why I did it like that. And victims never see what they did wrong. So this is a super, super big red flag for a business partnership. If you're doing that to your partner, where you're being so critical and then you don't take accountability for anything, you're always playing the victim role, stop that. You're killing the partnership. And you might have something good that you could build, but you're killing the partnership. You know? What's up? What's up, Amano's Pizza? Talk about partnership, right? Two brothers in New Jersey, two separate locations, two different personality types. And absolutely crushing it. All right. So he just said, what's up on Instagram? What's up, guys? So absolutely crushing it. That's a great example, again, of partnerships that work. We're going to talk more about that. But they wouldn't have gotten to where they got to, even as being as brothers, if any of these factors were a part of their business. And I coach them. So I know them personally. I know their business personally. So what I'm talking about are things that I've experienced and I've seen. Again, if you've got a team, maybe you've got a partnership. I've coached husband and wife. I've coached brothers. I've coached team members that are not related, but they have merged their brands. I'm in a partnership and a collaboration, even with my business and another business. So if you are needing some help with that, merging your brand or just upskilling your team so that you could be a good partnership for someone else, again, contact me. All right. You can send me an email at info at Revenir. That's REVNIR.biz. Or you can give me a call, 470-453-2780. I'm your coach, JD August. All right, let's get one more. The other balloon flew away, man. It's kind of far, so I don't know if I can grab it. But if you put a comment of another reason that's a bad situation, a bad partnership that I haven't mentioned, I'll go grab that balloon and we'll pop it for you. All right, so the last one from me is going to be, they are sneaky in their practices. Ooh, yeah. That's a major one. It's not gonna be a good partnership if they are sneaky in their practices, they omit information, and they lie on the fly. That is a sign of a bad partnership if they are sneaky in their practices. The way that they deal with you, the things that they do, it's just sneaky. They're just not straightforward about anything, right? They omit information. They just conveniently forget to tell you certain things that are very important, and they lie on the fly. I mean, without batting an eye, they will lie. Okay, I know I got a mic here. I'm not freestyling, but it all rhymes. But they will lie on the fly. That is a definite. Yeah, we're going to pop this in just a second. I want you to remember it this way. If they can't be up front, then you need to fall back. If they can't be up front, then you need to fall back. Pop the balloon on that situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? And save yourself from a bad partnership. Partnerships, again, can make and break your business and your brand. So if they can't be up front, then you need to fall back. All right? Let me see. I think I got one from Nino. Give me a second. Yeah, man. Y'all give me a second. I got to go get the balloon. I got a great one from Nino. And we're back. Okay, so Nino from Amano's Pizza says that they tell you what you want to hear. All right? They tell you what you want to hear, but they don't follow through. That's what it looks like. I got it sideways right now, so I have to work on that. But people that they pacify you, right? So you're trying to really, make some moves. You want to execute, and they're slick talking. Oh man, they tell you exactly what you want to hear, but when it comes time to show up, they don't show up. Woo! That's a good one, Nino. I appreciate that. That is a partnership trait. And a partnership, if you can avoid it, that you want to avoid. Again, if you're already in that partnership, if it's with your spouse, partnerships are redeemable. Okay? Maybe it's better that you don't do business together. Or you come accountable and you say, hey, you do that. There's this trend. Let's go ahead and pop the balloon on that one right there. Get that up out of here. You got to get it up out of here. So yeah, you don't want people that's going to pacify you and tell you what you want to hear. There's this little meme, or not meme, but it's a trend that's going around, right? And it's couples, and they're recording the one couple running, right? They'll record one couple running, and they're like, oh, the suspect does this, so they're telling on the couple, they're telling on their spouse, the suspect does this. And then it flips to the husband or the wife, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, whatever the makeup is. This person does this. So I don't know if you've seen that. But maybe you and your partner need to play that game. Yeah, maybe you and your partner need to play that game, because the cool part about that game is because it's this social media trend, they're being able to be honest about things that they've noticed about their partner, that in a joking way where they can get it out. And I think that what you want to do is make sure that you have communication with your partner. So we're actually going to start going into things that really help partnerships to build, and we'll start with that, is that communication. The ability to be able to talk, to be real, and to share your thoughts with your partner are absolutely important, and to get a good rhythm of communication. After you've spent time with someone, working with someone, in a partnership with a relationship, the better that you understand their communication, not taking them personal, If they're giving you some critique, when they can understand you and you're not misunderstood, it doesn't bring arguments and disputes. Like, how can two walk together unless they what? Agree. That's the good word. Okay. So how can you walk together if you can't agree, if you can't understand where I'm coming from when I'm speaking, right? That's going to be a challenge. So do that challenge. I think that's a really cool challenge. Maybe have your partner. Okay. I want to see business partners do that. Tag me, tag whatever you want to do with it. Let's call it the JD challenge. Well, I guess it's already somebody else's challenge, so I can't steal it. But they're not doing it with business partnerships. So grab your business partner and maybe make some great marketing with that. That will be a really good marketing idea, brand idea. And I didn't even charge you for it. All right. So the best you could do is maybe tag me on it. Have your business partner running and use that theme, but use it as a great way to build your communication with one another. All right. So let's go into, some of the final pieces right here before we get going. All right. And that's going to be the keys. It's what you should definitely make sure that you take note of. These are the things that make partnerships go. All right. All right, so I got a couple of notes here. When you're building a partnership, always aim to work with companies or people who offer the same level and quality of service, quality of reputation as you do. Don't go down, okay? It's not necessarily about the size of their business. You could partner with someone who doesn't have a business as big as yours, right? Or a market, a profile, a book. That's maybe one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they get too big for partnership. They've already gotten there, they got some things going and they start to look down at people that might just be starting. It's not about the size of their business, because if their business takes off, now all of a sudden, how do you come back and say, hey, we should work together now? No, keep that same energy. You was too big for me before. Your britches were too big for me, remember? Right? So it's not about the size of that person's business. You do want to find someone who's equally as committed, but really it's the same level of quality reputation. That's what you want to make sure that you're matching. Don't attach your brand with some brand that's not going to match your reputation, because that brand will bring down your brand too. Okay? Reputation. So one of the most important aspects of good business is to make sure that you share similar values. Have that conversation about what's valuable to them. What values do they have in business? Do they care about customer service? Do they care about their reviews? Like, you don't even have to ask. You can just look. See if they respond to when they get a negative review. And what is their response? Do they just try to remove it? Do they get up there and talk to the customer about it? Like, what is their mindset? When you sit down and you have those partnership kind of interviews, you go out to dinner and lunch and you're trying to start working together, feel them out. It's not just about the green, right? It's about the business. Hey, what's important to you? If you have a challenge, give them some situational questions. You know how you go on interviews and they give you situational questions? Like, when you have an angry customer, man, what do? Oh man, I just ignore them. Those people are stupid. That's what you want to connect your brand with? If that's what your value system is, then cool. But you need to be able to pay attention to that and understand what you're connecting your brand to. You with me? All right. So that's number one. Just wanted to make sure I'm not missing any of your comments up there. If your values don't align, your contributions will be devalued. So if your values don't align, your contribution to that partnership will be devalued. Okay. They won't be able to see what you're bringing to the table because you don't have the same values. You bring great customer service, they're not going to applaud it. They're not going to think it means anything because they don't have that value. So have similar values and align your values. Number two, another key is to, this is huge. Everyone in the partnership or whoever's in the partnership should have at least one proactive owner per partner. You need to have one proactive partner or owner per partner. Here's what I mean by that is that sometimes the partnership is set up to where someone is investing some money, Someone is investing this, their time, their expertise, whatever the case may be. But even if you're the one investing money and someone else is doing something a little different, hey, make sure that you have someone who represents you in the deal, in the business. Like, there needs to be one person per side that is active in the business in some way, shape, or form. So even if you are providing the money, okay, this was the big issue. I remember, again, speaking about some clients that I dealt with, right? You don't know who I'm talking about. I'm not saying any names. But their contributions were different, and at some point, they started to have a big issue. I mean, this is after millions of dollars have been made. We're not talking about pennies, y'all. They've made millions of dollars. And now you're looking at splitting, and here's the brand, who's keeping this, who's keeping that. And most of the conversation was about, well, this is what I did, and that was more important. And this is what I did, and that was more important. Right? And one person was a little bit more detached from the business. So you can think that they're probably not as engaged as the other person, but really they were doing things that were very important. So to just absolve for all of that, even if you're not going to be connected with the daily in and out, you need to have one person from your side representing that. Someone who's at the table. If it's your assistant, that's what it is. Hey, I'm the money guy. I don't come to every meeting, but my assistant does. Hello. You need to have one active person. Okay, I think y'all get it. So I'm just going to kind of read it. One person from each side of the partnership needs to own that partnership. The two partnership leaders on either side need to check weekly and represent their teams. So you need to have someone who represents your team, who joins the partnership. Okay, set clear expectations from the start on what that's going to be. So this is a tip for that point right there. Set clear expectations on what the contribution is going to be, what the setup is going to be, who's going to be representing my team, and how I'm going to show up. And then, of course, just making sure that that's going to help you avoid a lot of run-ins. You're still going to have things that you got to talk about along the way. Remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, keyword far, go together. Well, a far journey means a lot can happen. A lot can happen between here and now. I know everything's good right now. You know, I know everything's good right now. But I mean, just think about all the partnerships that we watch. If you're an 80s baby like me, we watch a lot of partnerships fall apart. Cash Money Records for the 9-9 fell apart. Right? I think Wu-Tang broke up. Fugees. Some of them are not as bad as breakups. Some of them are really bad breakups. And I'm just thinking about music, but there were so many of them, right? So what it looks like right now is not necessarily, it's not automatic of what it's going to look like. Okay? It's the same thing in relationships. We know that relationships take work. So whatever love, whatever we got going on right now, it's going to take maintenance to keep it. So set clear expectations from the start and have someone who's on your side, who represents your side, to check in weekly. So consistent communication is huge. All right. So that was number 2. A third one, and the final one to really making a great partnership work. And then I'm going to close off with making the connections. Where to find good partners? How can I find a good partnership? We talked about the benefits of it. Depending on your business, I'm going to give you some tips that I think will help you to identify a great partnership. And hopefully, a year or 2 years from now, you'll be thinking, man, I'm glad I listened to that guy, JD, with the funny socks. Right? This is a partnership right here. Sugar Daddy and socks. All right. I just like the socks, y'all. That is not a message. Okay. All right. So the third one, balanced rewards. Balanced rewards. Partnerships often dissolve over time due to the fact that one party benefits from the partnership more than the other party. Might drop. So when you talk about setting expectations from the beginning, when we talk about having one person from each side, as you go along this journey, you have to be forward thinking. I talked about that in last week's live with your brand being forward thinking, looking into the future. And you have to be able to know what the other party is going to benefit, what that looks like, what they need to do to be able to get that and to generate that. You're not responsible 100% for the success. It's a partnership. It's 50-50. But at the end of the day, you can't come into a partnership only thinking about me, 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 me. You can't. So if you're going to be in a partnership, but your whole partnership pitch is about how you benefit, it's about selling your product, it's about you, that's not a partnership you're trying to get into. You're just trying to close a deal. Right? There's a difference. There's a difference. So partnerships dissolve when there isn't balanced rewards. So when you sit down with that potential partner, make sure that you talk about what those potential rewards are. All right? What those potential rewards are. I don't see any comments in Facebook. If I have some, I apologize. I'm not ignoring you. I can just see the ones from Instagram and I can't see yours. Or maybe Facebook's just chilling and y'all not doing any comments, and that's cool too. All right. But, that is a huge thing. All right. Is to make sure that you got that going on. All right. So they dissolve when one party benefits more than the other. So whatever that partnership is, make sure that you are also thinking about how they're going to benefit. Fair enough? Cool. All right. So I got a lot of people, in my circle of influence. I just saw a good friend of mine from back in the day, Joanne, who's in the music industry. And there's so much partnerships when it comes to the music industry. And you're always looking to collab. You should be always looking to either collab some way, shape or form. I mean, we just saw a really great partnership during the Super Bowl, right? Not only Drake. Not only did Kendrick, partner with SZA and of course Serena, but the partnership that really stood out to me was the one with Mustard, right? With the producer. And you see where it landed both of them. So whether it's partnerships with people that throw events, producers, ways that you both can benefit and look out and work out, it has to be mutually beneficial. A lot of partnerships start off wrong because it's one party coming to get a handout rather than bringing something to the table and also looking to benefit from the services of someone else. So don't come looking for a handout thinking, man, we could work together. But really, you're not bringing anything to the table. That's not partnership. And that's what's holding us back sometimes. You have to come with something beneficial to the table and ask them to come with something to the table. Yeah, I got a like right there on that one. That's true. Right? So think about what you're bringing to the table. Don't just try to take advantage of people and get services for free and try to get someone to promote your stuff, but you ain't got nothing for them. That's why our partnerships ain't lasting, okay? And we need more partnerships in our community, specifically in the African American community, the Black-owned business community. We need more partnerships, but we've got to strategize better ways of doing it. All right. So I'm just kind of speaking to the African American community right now. You got to strategize. All right. And we have to be able to find good partnerships, find people that you can trust, and not always talk about how you can't do business with family. You can't trust people. It be your own people. Right. We have quotes that even tell us to be skeptical of one another. We got to stop doing that because partnerships help you to go far. All right, so let's take note, let's take lessons, and let's keep it moving. All right, I'm going to close out, y'all, with how to make the connections, networking, and then we're going to get up out of here. I appreciate you if you join. Again, I am Coach JD. I've been in learning and development for over a decade, and I've been helping and upskilling sales teams and businesses, partnerships to gain success. I've helped people make millions of dollars, all right, in sales and in their business by simply helping them to upskill their people, transform their mind, and then create some great products. Right now, I've had my most recent product is a custom onboarding training that I provide to businesses. So that way you don't have to always train the people when they come in, right? You got to take your resources. Your employees don't want to train them because they're like, that's not my job. You're supposed to train them. And so you got employees who don't want to do what you're asking them to do to upskill someone. And even if they do it, they sometimes don't do it to the way that you want them to do it because training is a skill. So why don't you just avoid all of that? I'll create a training program for you. You get an employee that gets to your business, and in 2 weeks, after watching the custom onboard training, it's made specifically for your business. Specifically for your business. So if you sell cars, it's going to be about cars. If you sell lotion, it's going to be your sales process, and it'll be over 50 videos custom for your business. It starts at 18,000. All right. So if you're interested in something like that, but it's going to make you millions, it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Contact me at info@revenir.biz. That's REVNIR.biz. Let's talk about these last 3 points. How to make the connections. Number one, to make the connections, especially when you go out networking, number one thing you got to do is you got to know who you are. You should sit down and make sure you establish your brand identity. When you establish your brand identity, it makes it so much easier to tell people who you are. All right. So you need to know what your company, what your reputation is. And when you're networking, that's going to come across. People that know who they are come across very confident, and it comes off very clear on what it is that they are wanting from you, because there's no hiding. So if you want to make great partnerships, then all you got to do is make sure that you know who you are. So if you don't know, go back and watch my content on brand awareness and brand identity. Or just do some research on it. But brand identity, know what your company stands for, know what your brand stands for, and put that out into the market. Okay. Brand identity. Number one, know who you are. Number two, making the connections, making the love connections for your business, passionately bringing your business to where it needs to go. You got to know what you need. So know who you are. And when you're networking, know what you need. Sometimes people, you know what, one of the things that I don't like about networking events is that it just turns into a little shindig. All right. Now, as a single guy, you know, that's okay sometimes, right? All right, cool. We can go out there and we can talk a little bit. Maybe we can, you know, enjoy the evening. But that's not the point. That's not the focus of a networking event. And one of the reasons why that ends up happening is because people don't go there knowing and understanding what they need. Meaning that you're going to network, but you're really going just to sell your product and to sell. You're networking. Networking means that I want to find whether it doesn't have to be a long lasting partnership. There going to be micro partnerships. There's micro partnerships. Okay. These are partnerships that are quick. They happen. They make a lot of money together and they move on. So you need to know that what type of partnership you need when you go to a marketing event, when you go to a networking event, and how it's going to be mutually beneficial. Sit down and think about it before you go to the event. All right, cool. So, you know what? I do music. So it would be nice if I got someone who does event hosting. Now, what could I provide them? What could I provide them? Okay. Yeah, I could make some. Oh, you know what I could do? Maybe I can offer them to create a short jingle for their business in return for them of allowing me to get a discount at an event or to host an event at a discounted rate. Okay. If I have a following, then maybe I can work something out to where I can show them that I have this level of following. And if you give me this event space to throw this event, then I will allow you to, you know, provide food or provide drinks, whatever the case may be. Okay. You do food. Maybe you do meal prep. Someone else is a personal trainer. Man, you know, I go networking and I'm going to look for personal trainers and I'm going to think about what I can provide them. Hey, I can provide your clients with meal prep. But what can I provide you? This is the part that we don't do. We don't think about what can I provide you. Sincerely, not like a pitch. Oh man, I could do this. And you're really just telling them what they want to hear. Really, you can't do it. You can't deliver on it. But really think through, what can I provide you? You know what? Man, maybe I could provide you with a discounted meal per session. So if you have 20 people that come to your live sessions as a personal trainer, I will provide 20 meals at a discounted rate. I will provide 20 meals free for that session so that when you market that session, you can say, hey, and your after workout meal is also included in this price, you get a piece off of it or whatever the case may be, but you get to show up to that event and get 5 to 10 minutes to now speak to that audience and pick up 1 or 2 clients. That is a good partnership. You see what I'm talking about? You got to think through it. Think through it. The next, hey, listen, I don't know, this might be the last live. The next thing I might do is going to be a webinar. You're going to have to pay. All right. Cause this is free stuff. And sometimes people don't appreciate free. I spend an hour here for free. I charge a client $1,000 a month to do it. Right. And I have clients. So the difference is when they're paying $1,000 a month, they take notes and they go ahead and they exercise that because it's based off of years of seeing different businesses do different things, study, research. This is what I do. Right? While you're doing something else, I'm doing this. I'm looking at what's making businesses successful. I'm talking to successful business owners and I'm helping and I'm also learning from them as well. All right. So that was a great partnership example right there. All right. Here's the last tip and then we're out of here, man. Right on time. We start on time. We end on time. Punctuality is very important. The third one is, know what you need, have a vision and know the gaps that you solve for a specific industry. And when you go to these networking events, look for that industry and already know what gaps you can solve for them. Have already a proposal. And number 3, know the WIIFM for your potential partnership. I've already talked about it multiple times, so it's easy to kind of close out with that. Know the what's in it for me for that potential partnership. Okay? You can't just think about yourself. You need to know what's in it for me for them. You need to think about what's in it for me for them. And that is going to position you to make very good collabs if you're already thinking about what I provide to the other side. So I just kind of went on a whole tangent with that. So that was the third point right there. Okay? So we talked about a couple things. If you're just joining, you can come back and watch the playback. But we talked about successful partnerships, examples of successful partnerships back from the 1980s, different types of partnerships, in-laws, siblings, couples, women, African American, and there was a little bit of something that we drew from each one of those so that you can get the lessons from history, right, on what you need to do to be able to get a good partnership. So we talked about that. We went through the pop the balloon section, and that is where you saw me popping the balloon on the bad partnership traits that you want to get rid of or partnerships that you need to avoid. And then lastly, we finished off with the 3 keys to make a partnership work. Again, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining me here on this Wednesday evening. Maybe I'll do the evening again. We'll see. But normally I like to be on the daytime. But it's your man, JD August. Follow me on YouTube. Check out some more videos that I'm going to be releasing. You can find me on YouTube at, actually the link's on my Facebook profile if you're looking for it. On Instagram, I'm just JD the Coach. Just put JD the Coach and you will be able to find me. If you can't find me, just DM me and I'll let you find me. All right. And again, if I can help you with anything, send me an email or check out my website, www.revenir, REVNIR.biz. If you want to know what revenir means, it's French for revenue. All right. So I help your revenue come back to your business. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like, share, drop a comment. What was your takeaway from this session? Even if you're watching the playback right now, if you made it all the way this, then that means you took all this in and I applaud you for that. But drop a comment. Tell me what stood out to you the most. I greatly appreciate you. Love y'all. Go crush your 2025. Until next time. Absolute pleasure, y'all. Be great.